All right, people, buckle up, because Malawi's minister just delivered one of the most brutally honest, no-filter briefings on electricity and fuel we've heard in a long time. And trust me, nothing in this story is mild. It's spicy, it's messy, it's dramatic, and it affects every single one of us who uses power, buys fuel, or dares to switch on a bulb during load shedding. This is Global Pulse News, where we unpack the news with energy, attitude, and a little bit of that Malawian-style sarcasm because, honestly, these updates need a little seasoning. Let's break down everything the minister said today in the top 10 most jaw-dropping facts. When the minister took office, she basically walked into a situation that felt like opening a kitchen cabinet after a tornado. A few neatly stacked plates on one shelf and total disaster everywhere else. She explained that she inherited both achievements and issues, but the problems? Oh, they weren't small. They were big enough to have their own neighborhoods. Malawi's energy and mining sectors have been dragging a long list of challenges, from unstable production to management failures. And she didn't sugarcoat a thing. She painted a picture of a ministry that has been firefighting for months, only no one remembered to buy the fire extinguishers. She acknowledged the weight of the mess and the urgency to fix it. And honestly, credit to her for not pretending everything was fine. She set the tone loud and clear. This is going to be a long, sweaty, sleeves rolled up kind of fight. And speaking of fights, let's talk about the national drama that has had everyone losing their minds: fuel. The minister didn't waste time sugarcoating the reality. Malawi's fuel crisis didn't magically appear overnight. It's been cooking quietly like a pot of nsima on a forgotten stove. She laid it out bluntly. Fuel shortages caused industries to stall, hospitals to stress, schools to panic, and households to scramble. Fuel is the bloodstream of the country. Without it, nothing moves. Literally. She described how the entire economy felt like a stalled car stuck on the M1 with no tow truck in sight. Transportation collapsed, logistics dragged, and productivity dropped like a stone. She emphasized that fuel isn't just about cars, it's about generators, agriculture, manufacturing, every single supply chain link. And when the fuel system coughs, the whole economy catches pneumonia. That's exactly what happened. The crisis snowballed until every corner of the country felt it. But hold up, because the reason behind this chaos is even wilder. This is the moment your eyebrows go up. The minister revealed that the true heart of the fuel crisis isn't incompetence, it's forex. Yep, the US dollar, the country's economic oxygen, decided to ghost us. Importers couldn't access enough forex to buy fuel, and when the money dries up, the supply line collapses instantly. But here's the kicker. The nation's strategic fuel reserves, which should help during emergencies, were already empty by July 2024. Completely drained. Imagine running a household with no savings account and no backup plan. Malawi has been surviving on daily, hand-to-mouth fuel shipments. If one tanker sneezed, the whole country caught the cold. The minister didn't hide it. We've been skating on thin ice for over a year, and somehow it kept cracking under us. We weren't just vulnerable, we were wide open. And if you think that's the biggest shock, wait until we talk about where some of that fuel is actually disappearing to. This part feels like a plot twist from a political crime series. According to the minister, Malawi's fuel is being smuggled out of the country like it's on holiday. Why? Because our fuel prices are lower than the surrounding countries. That means Malawi has unintentionally become the Black Friday fuel shopping destination of the region. Smugglers buy fuel locally, cross the border, flip it for profit, and vanish. Meanwhile, our recorded fuel demand numbers look artificially high because half of that demand isn't even domestic. It's tourist demand. The minister said adjusting our prices to match neighboring countries will lock that loophole tight. Without price alignment, Malawi is basically fueling other nations while our own tanks run dry. Not cool, not fair, not sustainable, and definitely not cheap. But speaking of cross-border drama, Tanzania just walked into the chat with a major plot twist. Just when Malawi needed consistent fuel inflow, Tanzania had its elections and everything froze. The minister explained how our fuel tankers lined up like a long parade of frustrated trucks waiting at the Tanzanian border. nothing moved. No trucks, no clearance, no unloading. The logistics chain literally jammed. Picture hundreds of tankers stuck like they were in traffic on a Friday before Christmas, only this was fuel for the entire nation. Back home, fuel stations started drying up faster than boiled water in October heat. And because Malawi had no strategic reserves as backup, this was a disaster in 4K. The minister admitted that this bottleneck sent shockwaves nationwide and intensified the shortages. It wasn't just bad timing, it was the perfect storm of no supply, no reserves, and no wiggle room. And now that fuel was missing, the biggest question was, are prices about to explode?
When asked about price hikes, the minister didn't play games. She admitted that fuel prices will go up, but not in a chaotic, overnight, punch-in-the-face type of way. She promised gradual adjustments, carefully coordinated with Mira, so Malawians aren't ambushed at the pump like they just walked into a surprise boxing match. The goal is soft landing, not financial whiplash. She emphasized protecting consumers while still keeping importers afloat. Because, let's be real, if fuel prices stay artificially low forever, importers pack their bags and the country ends up with empty tanks again. It's a delicate balancing act, and for once, the plan sounds like it actually has math behind it. But finally, a little light at the end of the fuel tunnel shows up. The minister delivered some rare good news. Fuel stability is on the horizon. Diesel supply is already improving, and petrol is catching up. Over 120 trucks are currently loading in Tanzania, and more are coming through from Mozambique. She confidently stated that fuel will normalize by next week. Now, whether that's optimistic or realistic depends on how many border delays, breakdowns, or mystery detours those trucks run into. But hey, at least the plan exists. The minister made it clear that, unlike previous months, the supply chain is now active and coordinated. If everything goes according to plan, Malawi should finally breathe again. And no, that doesn't mean we start celebrating with full-tank joyrides yet, but at least relief is visible. Fuel story handled. Let's talk about electricity, because wow, that situation is its own blockbuster. The minister didn't sugarcoat the electricity crisis either. Malawi simply doesn't produce enough power for current national demand. Installed capacity looks impressive on paper, 551 megawatts, but what's actually available is closer to 340 megawatts. That's like buying a 10-seater minivan and discovering it only moves when 3 seats are empty. The minister revealed that Tanzania 3's 31 megawatts has been offline for nearly a year because Eskom lacked forex to buy replacement parts. So a major hydro machine broke down and stayed broken. But here's the update. Parts have now been purchased and repairs begin in December. Still, the damage is done. National demand keeps rising while generating capacity keeps falling short. Malawi's basically trying to power a whole country with half a battery. And if that sounds bad, the next part explains why load shedding has become our new national roommate. With capacity struggling, load shedding was inevitable, and the minister admitted it. Maintenance work, growing industrial demand, and equipment failures created the perfect recipe for rolling blackouts. She explained that the northern region suffers even more because it relies on one single transmission line. One line. If that line even catches a cold, the whole northern grid collapses instantly. Industries are hurting, households are frustrated, and businesses are losing money daily. The minister delivered it with honesty. Load shedding is not disappearing tomorrow, not next week, not until supply grows. But at least the ministry has stopped pretending it's maintenance every time. The reality is the grid is overloaded and tired. But buckle up, because the final fact takes us into the future, and for once, it isn't all bad news. The minister ended with a hopeful punch. She confirmed that Malawi will add 50 megawatts from Mozambique via the interconnector by February, plus another 20 megawatts from solar and biomass producers. This pushes the national grid towards 600 megawatts early next year, a big step towards stability. She also explained that mining export bans will protect Malawi's minerals, ensuring value stays in the country. On top of that, climate-focused projects at COP30 aim to bring in huge funds for forestry, water security, and renewable energy. The long-term plan? strengthen the grid, diversify energy sources, support mining transparency, and build resilience against climate change. It's ambitious, maybe even bold, but it's the direction Malawi needs. And now that we've unpacked every shock, every truth, and every promise, here's the bottom line. Do you believe the minister's roadmap? Do you think fuel will truly stabilize next week and electricity by February? Drop your thoughts below. We want your real opinions. Hit like, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications because Global Pulse News is the only place where the news hits hard, fast, and with flavor.